Extraterrestrials told me, "You are the first one." What happened next is crazy. The first one what? The first human to ascend with help from higher dimensional beings. That's what they told me. This was after I made successful contact with higher dimensional extraterrestrial beings. In June of 2022, I made direct contact with extraterrestrials. I videoed it. The link is in the description, how I became an extraterrestrial. Click on it if you want to see what happened to me that first time. That experience completely destroyed my understanding of everything, and I mean everything. It was no longer just a theory that we lived in a matrix. I found out that the third dimensional Earth is in fact a matrix. It is a virtual reality headset. It is a simulation. It is not true reality. And I found out that everything I thought about reality and my connection to it was either completely flipped on its head, or it was so bizarre there was no possible way that my third dimensional mind could have come up with it. For 6+ months, light beings appeared in my room every night and worked on my energy body. They modified my nervous system, my DNA, my energy meridians, my chakras. They connected me energetically to their spaceships. By the way, their spaceships are run on what somebody very astutely called OI, not AI. AI is artificial intelligence. OI is original intelligence. They have a direct connection to the quantum field consciousness, the mind of God, if you will. It gets even weirder. I met all of my dead relatives. I balanced karma with them. So what happened very early on is that light beings would show up. And the light being said, "Your mother wants to talk to you." Now, my mother had been dead for a couple of years. All of my family, my mother, my father, my sister, and very likely my brother, as well as my fiance. They were all dead. A light being shows up and says, "Your mother really wants to talk to you." Now, I didn't have the greatest human relationship with my mother. I loved her very much, but there were some serious issues there. And I said, "That's fine. I wish her well. I don't want to talk to her. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell's going on." And this ET shows up and starts telling me that my mother wants to talk to me. And so I kept on saying, "No, I don't want to talk to her. That's fine. I wish her well. I don't ever need to see her or talk to her ever again." And this ET was very insistent, very loving, very kind, very patient, and very polite, but very insistent. "She just wants to talk to you. Just talk to her. What have you got to lose?" And so I ended up balancing all of the karma that I had with all of my relatives. Then I was shown my true self in multiple dimensions. And if you thought that was weird, they told me that they wanted to make me, get this, king of Earth. This almost completely destroyed my mind. They took me in the astral realm when I went into meditation. By the way, they never forced me. I was never abducted. It's always cooperative. That's another subject, but my interaction with them was purely cooperative. They never did anything or violated my boundaries in any way. Having said that, they took me in my astral body to dimensions that I cannot comprehend in my third dimensional brain. And I saw myself in multiple higher dimensions, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, all the way up till the 12th dimension. I saw myself. And I learned the history of how I, as a multidimensional being, the history that I have had from the beginning with the creation of this planet Earth. And if you are lucky enough to have the same experience that I have had, you're going to find out similar information about you. But then it got weird, if that wasn't weird enough. They told me that I was the king of this planet. And at first I took that to mean symbolically, we are all spiritual beings and we all create this world and we rule this planet. And they're like, no. We're dead serious. We want to make you the king of this planet. This almost destroyed me. It gets a lot weirder. They told me that I had been king of Earth 11,000 BC, who built the pyramids, and it gets weirder, I helped to create the elites who are ruling the Earth now. I beg your pardon? This was this was just so strange. I registered it intellectually, but to be honest, I just went, oh, okay. I didn't know what to do with it. Some things have happened since then that have made it far more real. I've experienced it, I've relived it, I've seen it. And so it's a very, very different, it's a very serious thing. I don't take it lightly at all. So they tell me that I'm this king of Earth who built the pyramids, helped to create the elites who are now ruling the Earth now. They told me that they tried to tell me to stop using high technology on Earth. So the pyramids are a form of extremely advanced technology that, as you can understand now, our modern scientists can't figure it out. But they were part of a worldwide network of very advanced instruments of technology. And they said they tried to tell me to stop using this technology on Earth, and according to them, when I didn't listen, it brought the Great Flood. So if it wasn't enough of a mind to be told that you're king of Earth, you built the pyramids, you helped to create the elites that are running this world, and on top of that, because you didn't listen to us way back when, 13,000 years ago, when we told you to stop using the technology and you kept using it, that created a catastrophe that brought on the Great Flood. You try living with that. If that's not weird enough, they gave me a power mantra that would shift the Earth to 5D and help humanity ascend. So I haven't talked about it in this video, I have in many others. You'll see it if you go watch the video, How I Became an Extraterrestrial. The link is in the description. The first ET that I had conscious contact with, I believe, was a mantis being. Very powerful, very wonderful, but very powerful beings. And how did I get onto that? This is such an intense experience, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, he gave me a power mantra. So what was happening is that early on, they were meeting with me for the first almost, it could have been 2-3 weeks, I don't remember. Time gets very fuzzy back then. But I was starting to come apart mentally. I was seriously doubting my sanity. I thought I was completely going bonkers. I thought I was having some kind of a psychotic break. The things that I was being told, it wasn't enough that I had just had direct contact with an extraterrestrial. But on top of that, the things that they were telling me were so bizarre and so unbelievable and so seemingly narcissistic that I just couldn't handle it anymore. I had such a hard time with it that my physical body started breaking down. I couldn't move my right arm and my shoulder. I was losing it. So I said, for I don't know how long it was, a week or two, I said, I'm not talking to you guys. I need some time. So I didn't do any meditations. I didn't reach out to them. I was just trying to figure it out. But apparently there was a clock ticking. on it, looking back on it. You know, they had something they needed to help me accomplish. And so one day I was sitting here on my couch watching TV, and I see out of my window, I have this beautiful view over the lake, and there was these, you know, summer clouds here in Florida, beautiful. Out of the clouds comes down this huge, bright red, ruby red, neon red lightning orb, a spaceship. It was huge. And I went, what the F is that? And I got up and I ran to the window, and as soon as I did, poof, it disappeared. Like, it was gone. And then I felt the presence, and I said, okay, they're here. And I knew what was happening. He was saying, listen, I don't want to bother you. I'm out here, I'd like to talk to you. So I went into meditation and I invited him in, because they don't come in without permission, so I invited him in. He then began to teach me many things having to do with using sound to create and shift reality. And he taught me a mantra, and it's a one-word power word that I use in the live guided meditations that we do on this channel. In fact, we're going to do one tonight. If you're watching this on Saturday, we do it every Wednesday and Saturday evening at 8:30 p.m. I'm quite sure that I will use that same mantra. And he was teaching me exactly where to place the energy in my throat, and it wasn't like standing in front of me. He was telepathically showing me and helping me to intone the sound. And I didn't know what it was. I just knew that whatever it was very powerful. And he had taught it to me. And I learned some things. One of the things is that a lot of the things that we think human beings create, you know, mantras and different forms of magic, any energy work, runes even. He taught me how to chant runes. I came to understand that those technologies came from higher dimensional extraterrestrials who have been helping human beings from the beginning. So he gave me a power mantra that would shift the Earth to 5D and help humanity ascend. If that isn't weird enough, they then told me that I would, quote, single-handedly lead humanity into the 5D Earth. If you think that's an easy one to swallow, again, I start thinking I'm losing my mind. I've become completely psychotic. To have somebody lay that in your lap is huge. Maybe you could handle it. I wasn't really prepared to handle that. But apparently that mantra that he shared with me, that he taught me, that he showed me what it was, apparently that was the single frequency that was going to create the 3D to 5D shift. And then they told me, you are single-handedly going to lead humanity into the next frequency. Keeps getting weirder. They told me that I would fly through the air like Superman, that's a quote, and I would use my power to destroy the 3D frequency. So while they're telling me this, I am seeing like myself flying through space. And there are other people that are behind me, and I'm flying through space and they're flying with me. And again, it's like Superman. And then out of my mouth comes this interdimensional fire. I don't know how else to describe it. And hits Earth, shifts and changes everything. That's what I saw. That's what they told me. I was sure that I was suffering a psychotic break, but I followed their suggestions anyways. Because if they were right, and everything they told me, I had a responsibility. I better do something to help fix whatever it was I did the first time around. It keeps getting weirder and weirder. They told me not to worry, that I would know exactly what to do when the time was right. They came back multiple times and told me this story about I was going to fly through the air like Superman and people behind me and change. And because the first time I heard it, I said, that has to be a fantasy I made up. There's no way that come on. I took it literally. I thought that literally in my 3D body I was going to, take off, jump off of my balcony and fly into, the sky. Turns out they were talking astrally. Now, from their perspective, remember, this Earth is fake. This is the fake world. The real world is out there. We can access the real world through our astral bodies. What you don't realize is that when you go to sleep at night and you dream and you leave your body, when you consciously meditate and you send out your energy consciously in your astral body to go travel wherever. You want to go see what the moon is like, you can go and do that. When you do that, these higher dimensional beings, they see you, and they see you in your true spiritual form. I'm almost 61 years old, and I'm not what I was, when I was 30. But when I go out in my astral body, they don't see this aging human. They see me in my true form. And for them, that's real. So for them to tell me, you're going to fly through the air like Superman, and I'm dead serious, this is literal, this is what you're going to do, they meant in the astral realm, the true realm. They told me not to worry, that I would know exactly what to do when the time was right. A few weeks later, I saw exactly what I needed to do. I started the bi-weekly interdimensional meditations, and from the very beginning, the world started to shift. I talk about that on the channel. If you want to go back around that time, I think that was August of 2024, I think. You'll hear me saying, this is what they said was going to happen. Watch what's going to happen. And crazy things started happening in the world right after those meditations. So, let's see, where am I? Yeah. So this is where we're at now. So how do you ascend? Number one, you make the decision. You've got to make the decision. Unlike, unfortunately, what I believed for a while, I believed that there was going to be an instantaneous solar flash that was going to hit the earth, and then everybody was going to magically shift up, and it was going to be, everybody would just automatically get sane and spiritual and lose all their negativity. I wanted that, so it's not that I didn't like that idea, I did. But the reality is that's not how it works. The shift is already here. It is happening. Those that choose to ascend will ascend. Those that choose not to will not. And everybody has the choice. Freedom. Remember, none of the universe, including these beings, never violate your boundaries. I know you've heard otherwise, but it's not true. Humans violate your boundaries, and so do negative, lower dimensional beings. They will violate your boundaries. But then again, you have to let that happen. That's a whole other subject. Higher dimensional beings and the universe itself will never violate your boundaries, ever. So yes, the shift is here. It is happening. That cannot be avoided. This third dimensional reality is being deleted, and the new world is in the process of being created, and you have to choose to go there. So how do you ascend? You make the decision. Next, this is my suggestion, you connect to light beings. Light beings are your family. You've been a light being before. You have lived in higher dimensions. You've lived on other planets. You've come to Earth as an angel, a spirit, an ET. You have been all of that. All of those beings out there are your family. They know you. And they are in a higher dimension, which means they have access to much more power than we do in the third dimension. And they are now, for the first time in history, reaching through the veil and giving us their power. And take advantage of it. It's a free, unbelievable gift. Reach out and make connection with light beings. I can show you how to do that. Move away from the 3D lies. So if you've noticed that things are really ramping up on the negative side, I'm not going to get into specifics, but we're in a world now where people are completely farming out their entire lives to their phones to tell them what to do and where to go and how to live and how to function. And you saw what happened over the past 4 years from 2019 on. You saw what happened at 9/11. This stuff is increasing. The craziness of the dark forces are increasing exponentially. So you have got to make the decision not to buy into the lies that they are now trying to feed you. Move away from the 3D lies. Cleanse your mind and body. This is important. A lot of people aren't going to like me telling you this, but you've got to stop putting things in your body, even things you think that help you spiritually. Anything that comes from the outside, if it changes your perception, it is actually moving you away from your highest frequency. So you need to cleanse your mind. If you need to go and get counseling, if you need to get some spiritual counseling, if you need to just focus and say, I'm gonna, as people say, I'm gonna face my shadow side and I'm gonna work through my issues, work through your pain, heal your psychological wounds. This is very important. Make the decision to do that. Clean your mind and your body so that you can handle the frequency that is coming. Believe the unbelievable. So far in this video, you've heard me tell you some absolutely unbelievable things. One of the things you can do is believe the unbelievable. But here's the difference. The unbelievable part is going to be about how amazing you are. Unlike religion that tells you that you're a tiny little piece of garbage, they'll tell you unbelievable things about God and whatever prophet or Messiah they're wanting to sell you. They'll tell you all amazing things about those people, but you're an evil piece of... That's a lie. You are the Messiah. You are God. You are the infinite. And that is going to be the most unbelievable thing. You saw already what they told me. Absolutely unbelievable. I thought I was losing my mind. You are going to think you're losing your mind. Not because you're experiencing something supernatural. There's nothing new about that. It's going to be because you are going to be told that you are in fact God. That you in fact are the being who's creating this world. That you have all the power. And that nothing is as powerful as you are. And when you feel that, it's going to be beyond your human ability to accept. But I'm here to tell you, you can do it. Do the impossible. Believe the unbelievable. And don't give up. Listen, I would like to tell you that it's over. You can relax. It's not over. It's just beginning. And it's going to continue to be something we're going to have to choose to do. And it might be challenging. And as you get closer to the higher frequency, more of your internal wounds, past life and present life, are going to be awakened, and you will have to feel them. There are going to be times when everything in your mind and body is going to tell you to do the exact opposite of going forward and facing this. I've seen it, and unfortunately, a lot of people who were moving in a good direction decided to just throw it all and go in the other direction because they weren't willing They were capable, but they weren't willing to face some of the things they had to face to move on. But it's worth it. Don't give up. So what you can do is you can join me twice a week for the free interdimensional meditations and the guided CE5 practices. I already showed you what that is. Come on this channel, subscribe, hit the notification button. You'll know when I'm going live. You can go to the live section on my YouTube channel. There's got to be hundreds of them. You can watch those meditations. They will have a powerful effect on you. Here are some more resources that I am making available. Remember, I'm completely devoting my life to this. This is the rest of my life is going to be devoted to bringing this about. I am choosing to believe what I'm being told. And if it's true, then I have a responsibility to do everything in my power to help as many people as possible. So I'm going to make all of these resources available to you, and here they are. So the live guided meditations, which I told you are free, happen twice a week. The Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. To do that, you go to thunderwizard.com, which is my Patreon site. And when you get there at the thunderwizard.com, hopefully I can find the page here, you will scroll to the bottom. Oh, there it is. Actually, you don't need to scroll to the bottom. You'll get there and you'll see at the bottom of the page, it says membership. You will click on membership. And when you do, different membership options will come up. You can look through all of those and see which ones work best for you. And then scroll and find the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong and subscribe to that. There are many other services there, but if you're new to this, I recommend that for everybody. The Mao Shan practices. So that's a whole other thing. I'm going to be making more videos explaining that, but I've already provided many of the Mao Shan practices. The Mao Shan are the single most powerful energy practitioners on this planet. And they showed up about 2,000 years ago in China, and they've gone through a lot of metamorphosis. They went under attack, government attack, numerous times throughout their history. And these are people who have tapped into, as I've come to find out, higher dimensional energy practices that have been channeled to them. They may not know that. I do now. Just like when I was channeled that mantra, they were channeled certain practices, meditations, and all kinds of things. And I've been training in that for over 30 years, and I'm going to share with you everything that I know. So for that, you're going to want to go to maoshan.thunderwizard.com. So generally speaking, you can subscribe at thunderwizard.com. If you want to learn how to communicate with higher dimensional extraterrestrials, go to contact.thunderwizard.com. I have a 10 video course. I go into depth explaining everything that I've learned about higher dimensions and interactions and communications with higher dimensional beings. And I've made a bunch of mistakes. I've tripped over myself, and I've learned a lot, and I give you all the benefit of that, things that I've learned. So for that, go to contact.thunderwizard.com. And then if you want a channeling session, I've got channel.thunderwizard.com. Now that was something that came about, again, it wasn't something I had ever envisioned for myself. I have to be honest with you. I think that virtually every single channeler out there is either deluded or a con artist. So the whole idea of channeling to me was not something I wanted to do. Light being showed up one day and they suggested. When they suggest things, it really means you should do this. So they suggested that I channel them to people and give them higher dimensional awareness of who they are, just like they did with me when they took me to higher dimensions and showed me who I was in all these different dimensions. They can do that for you. And what will happen is I will channel them. I will speak I won't go into a trance. They will telepathically send me information about you, and I will verbally tell you what they're showing me or what they're telling me. And the good news is that energy gets channeled to you, even if it's a Zoom meeting. And the people who've had this, you can watch on this channel. There's a folder for it, the channeled sessions. You can see the kinds of what happens. And this is very powerful and will also be very helpful for you as well, if that's something you're interested in. So those are all the ways that the resources that I have so far, that's going to continue to grow. There's a lot more Mao Shan practices that I'm going to be sharing with you. I spent all day videoing them. I'm going to be uploading those to the Mao Shan site. So the reason why that's important is that the Mao Shan energy is a higher dimensional energy. It's even more powerful than normal Qigong and Kundalini work. It's on a higher degree. It's extremely concentrated, powerful energy. And it actually opens up a connection. And you'll find that it will actually help you ground 5D into your reality. And that's what it was originally designed for. I've come to find out that these practices, when they first started being given out 2,000 years ago, that the goal was to give it to the world now. And I am somebody that is doing that. I am sharing this with the whole world. When I first started practicing this, my teachers told me I couldn't talk about it, I couldn't tell anybody about it, it was too powerful, it was too secret, it was too precious, it was too dangerous. Well, that was true back then. 30 years ago, it was too powerful for the average person. They would abuse it. But now, we need it. So I'm sharing everything. I'm teaching everybody who wants to everything that I know about this. Go to maoshan.thunderwizard.com, or when you subscribe to the Lightning Qigong, you will learn Mao Shan meditations and practices as well. So you'll find it in multiple places that I offer services. So please share this channel with all of your contacts. We need to get this information out, and I am devoting my entire life to giving these resources to anybody and everybody. So I need your help. Get this message out to anybody you think would be interested. Put it on your Facebook, your Tweety Bird, the Instagok or whatever that you use. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me babble. I love you all, and I sincerely am completely devoted to everything I can possibly do to help you shift up. And so I hope I'll see you back on this channel. I'll see you in the live free guided meditations, which I'm going to do tonight, every week, Wednesday and Saturday. Thank you. Please be very good to yourself. I'll see you very soon.